up, guys? Chef Justin Halbert here again, and today I want to bring you a quick, easy, delicious risotto recipe you can make in the Instant Pot. It's going to have some sausage, arugula, a lot of cracked pepper, delicious, creamy, and super easy to make. So I hope you enjoy. All right, y'all. First step here is just to hit the brown saute button either on your Instant Pot. I have the crock pot version of the Instant Pot here, and let that heat up as you're doing your prep. When you're making risotto, you want to look for Arborio rice. Okay, it's a short grain rice, high starch content. It's going to get your risotto nice and creamy. So make sure that you buy the Arborio rice. I'm also going to be using some shallot today. Shallot, if you've never had it, is basically a sweeter, milder version of an onion. It goes really well with risotto. And if you look at it, it just looks like a small onion. It has the brown paper all around it, brown skin all around it. And you cut it just like you do an onion. So I did some slices down vertically, then I'm cutting it into it horizontally, and then I'm gonna slice down to make those small dice. You can see I'm using a smaller knife here. It's up to you on what you want to use, but I like to use a smaller knife when dealing with the shallots. Once you have done all your prep, go ahead and melt down a tablespoon of butter with a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, remember that crock pot, the Instant Pot's been heating as I was doing my prep. I also, if you can see, I did some prep on the sausage already. So that's ready to go. I took it out of the casing and chopped it into about 1/2 inch to 1 inch pieces. What I'm waiting for is for that oil to start smoking. That's when you know you're ready to saute, when the oil is nice and smoking, okay? I'm also gonna add some garlic here. Saute that with the shallots. After those are translucent, the shallots are translucent, then I'm gonna add the Arborio rice. So how do you know when you're ready to saute? That oil starts smoking. Okay, each oil has a different smoking point. I used an olive oil. It has a little bit lower smoking point with the butter, but we are ready to go once it starts smoking. Also, I would cut back about half the amount of garlic and shallots for this recipe. This is the first time I made it. It was just a little bit too pungent. You want to have the creaminess of the risotto shine through. So I know for next time just to cut back. Also, take a look here. The shallots and the garlic are sauteing, looking good. Okay, how do you know when you cook onions or when you cook shallots that they're ready? Well, they turn translucent. The light can shine through them. So at that point, the shallots are translucent, the garlic is nice and golden, so I'm adding the Arborio rice to toast it. All right, now it's time to add the sausage. I'm not actually browning the sausage because I don't want the sausage to overcook, okay? The Arborio rice has been toasted. I can tell it's been toasted because the edges start to turn translucent. I'm also adding chicken stock that I've cut in half with a little bit of water because I want to be able to add salt at the end. I don't want it to be too salty because I'm going to add some Pecorino cheese that has a lot of salt in it. At this point, I stop the brown saute function and I turn on the rice function, and I drop the time to 6 minutes. 6 minutes was perfect because you want your risotto to have a little bite to it. You don't want it to be too mushy, and 6 minutes turned out to be a perfect time for this. Okay, 6 minutes has passed. I've opened up the steam vent. Sometimes I like to place a towel over the steam vent in case you're close to any cabinets or anything like that. But in this case, I'm just letting it go. And open the vent right away. You don't want your risotto to overcook because then it gets mushy. Okay, I'm gonna stir it vigorously, give it a good stir to get all that starch into the risotto, off the Arborio rice, make it nice and creamy. In a little bit, I'm gonna add some butter and some cheese, and I'm gonna finish it. All right, I'm adding some salt now. I always use kosher salt in my cooking, okay? Use kosher salt, that's the key. Here I am, I'm gonna add this Pecorino cheese. Looking back, I should have added some more. I'm stirring vigorously. I want that that starch to develop. I want it to be nice and creamy, and I want that salt to mix in, and I want that cheese to melt as well. Adding some more butter as well. I added about 5 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon to start when I was sauteing. A lot of butter, a lot of cheese, a lot of mixing, right? You can see that I'm stirring this because once again, you want that creaminess from the starches to develop, and that's how you do it, by mixing this. Probably gonna add some more pepper here, some fresh cracked pepper. Also another tip, always crack your own pepper, all right? It just has such a better flavor when it's freshly cracked. I'm probably gonna add about a teaspoon in total here. Pepper has a nice little bite to it, but it's not spicy, right? It has like a little bite to start, and then it mellows out. And I like the little texture that the pepper gives as well, so that's why I add a lot of pepper. All right, I'm tasting the food, making sure that the salt amount is okay. And you see what I'm doing? I'm using another spoon. I'm not double dipping in there. I'm gonna serve this to other people, right? So you don't wanna be double dipping, especially now during COVID, guys. Keep it safe, all right? Please keep everything safe, keep it sanitary. We don't wanna be spreading germs. All right, look, I'm adding more salt because I tasted it. I'm gonna be stirring again. Again, this is developing more starch. It's making the risotto creamy. And this is the chopped arugula. Look at the arugula goes right in there. Stir it up, it's gonna wilt. The arugula has a nice peppery bite. It's gonna cut through the creaminess and the fattiness of the risotto and give a nice like peppery, spicy bite. That's why I like using arugula. All right, I have some more fresh arugula. I'm gonna use this as a garnish on top. So on that garnish, I want it to have some flavor. I'm adding a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna add some salt, some more fresh cracked pepper. And you want your arugula, don't have it bland if it's gonna be on top, right? Give it a little flavor. You could also squeeze maybe a little bit of lemon on top of the arugula as well. That'll help cut through the fattiness of the risotto. But I like to spice it up a little bit. I like it to have a little bit of flavor when I'm putting it on top as a garnish. All right, I'm gonna add one more thing here. This is some white balsamic vinegar. This is another way to season your food. There's 2 ways to season, right? You can use acid and you can use salt. And so I'm using a little bit of balsamic vinegar to cut through the fattiness, to bring out the flavor, to brighten it up a little bit. Now it's time to plate. I want you to see how creamy this risotto turned out, okay? Risotto should be nice and creamy. You should spoon it. It should run onto your plate. And that's how it should look, okay? You can see a little bit of the arugula. You can see some of the sausage in there. Now I'm gonna get some cheese. This is Pecorino cheese. You can use a Parmesan and just grate it right on top. Put a good amount on there. It adds a lot of flavor. Here's the fresh arugula that I'm tossing. I'm just gonna put it right on top, add it as a garnish. The fresh arugula is gonna go good, contrasted with the rich, creamy risotto. And you have some of the wilted arugula that's already in the risotto as well. Now it's time for some more fresh cracked pepper right on top. Just a little more for a little bite. And there you have it. That's the risotto with arugula, sausage, Pecorino cheese, made in the Instant Pot. Super creamy, super rich, super easy to make. Hope you enjoyed it, guys.